Hey there, welcome to Frogs in Orbit. Today's video is a refinement of the stacking process. I previously released a video to show you how to stack Seestar S50 and S30 exposures. This video is going to be a little bit update to that process, and I'm including some information on a new tool, new for this video. It's called the Subframe Selector, and it will allow us to filter out some of the lower quality subs. Some of us have owned a Seestar for over a year now, so I think this subframe count is really starting to stack up for some of us. I've had projects where I've had over 18,000 exposures, so this will help us narrow down and start to become a more quality over quantity type of result that will improve the image quality in the end. So hopefully this video is helpful for you. Please subscribe. I'll be doing a few more videos in the future that I have planned, and subscribe and get notified so you'll be able to check out those videos, and hopefully they'll help you in your astrophotography Seestar processing journey. Let's get to the intro and we'll go ahead and start. Thank you. All right, welcome back. As I had mentioned, we're going to talk about how to use the subframe selector along with my video on the refined stacking procedure for Seestar S50 files in Pixinsight. So let's get into it. We're going to be doing M51 today. Some of you may have seen my process of that if you're in the Facebook group. My total time collected on M51 is 77 and a half, almost 77 and a half hours. You'll see the breakdown of subs I have here. These 10-second subs were first taken actually last year. You know, a lot of us have had our Seestar for over a year now. I've got 3 Seestars, so the subs pile up quite quickly. And some of these subs were older 10-second subs when I was still doing Alt-Z, and some 477 subs at 20 seconds back in Alt-Z. And then that's when I started to do EQ mode and capturing subs at longer exposures. So you'll see the brunt of these are 30-second subs. At 1.1 night a couple weeks ago, I got some good 45-second subs with a really good efficiency. I went down to 40 seconds one night because 45 seconds was not doing well, and I did do a test to get some 60-second subs and decided the efficiency was not good enough. So as you can see, there's a lot of 30-second and 45-second subs for a total of 77 and a half hours, and we're going to cut into that. It's not going to be the total amount. So first thing we're going to go ahead and do is pull up our Pixinsight, and there's a process for this. It's called Subframe Selector, SFS for short. So this is our subframe selector. It's going to pop up with 3 boxes, and these 3 boxes, we're all going to discuss what's going on here. But the first thing you have to do is this should be on measure subframes here under routine measure subframes. And we're going to add our files. I've already done this, so I'm going to, show you how to do these steps, but I'm not actually going to run them in real time because I've already done it. So I'm going to go into my folder here and check out my M51. And I'm going to add these subs. Now, actually, I've got some LP that you can see when I first captured these, April of 2024. So I had only had my Seestar for about a month at this point. So sometimes I did accidentally not check the filter and collect some LP. You'll see here I have some LP that I accidentally collected. And this was actually March 2nd, probably when my Seestar was brand new. Anyway, I'm going to add all of these, and then I'll just remove the LP subs. because we're not going to mix LP and IR cut, and really there's no reason for LP subs for M51 in my opinion. I do see some LP around the galaxy that might be nice to capture, but kind of going to be a waste capturing all that. So I'm going to get rid of these, remove selected, and I'm also going to, I think I had a couple in the 20-second range, if I remember correctly. Maybe not. Yeah, there's some here that I need to get rid of. So we're going to delete these LP ones. We don't need these. All right, so I am left with 7,953 total subs, that breakdown that I showed you. And by the way, we just did add files like we do with everything else here. Add files, and then you select the files you want to add. This stuff, you should make sure this is 16-bit. I think I had to change this to 16-bit. This is the only thing you should really change. We don't need an output file right now. We're just going to be checking out these subs. So this one I do actually have to run, and I'm hoping that it's got the information saved. I'm going to hit the global button here, the circle, and hopefully, yeah, this stuff is all cached, so it's just going to go through my cache again. So this shouldn't take too long. While it's running, okay, some of these are new maybe. How about this? Let's come back to this when this finishes. Okay, so a lot of those were not cached, so we're back here. Let's take a look at what we've got. So you can see it finished here. 342 failed. This is probably ones that didn't have enough stars or no stars at all to really measure. And 7,611 of them were measured. I've never gotten this error before, so I'm not sure what it is, but it didn't look like it affected any of the results. So, and you can see it took quite a bit, almost 20 minutes to do this, and I had a lot cached. So this is measuring, so expect it to take some time, especially depending on how many subs you have. It can take quite a while. So we'll close this and take a look at what we end up with. So this box is the most important here. As you can see, you can pick two options to show in the graph. So the one on the right is going to show you the weight, and the one on the left is the PF signal weight. I did some research on the internet before I started this video, but what I was told by, I'll just refer to him as the Seestar Jedi, Andre Juan Kenobi. Andre on Facebook, that many of you are probably familiar with. He's the one who gives me a lot of guidance because he's a genius when it comes to this stuff. So he told me that the things to look for are this FWHM, the star count, and even sometimes the eccentricity is important. So from my research, FWHM stands for full, now I don't remember what it is, full width half, I don't remember what it stands for. Basically, this is the interaction of your atmosphere with the stars. I guess how much of the light point is diffused or separated through the atmosphere. So the FWHM value, the higher the value, the worse the sub is. The lower the value, the better the sub is. And the star count, obviously what it is, how many stars you have. So I usually start with the star count first, and then I do give the graph a second to change here. The graph should change to stars unless that error means it's not going to work, which will not be helpful for this video. There we go. We've got star count, and the FWHM I'll pick as the second choice. So you can see from the chart here, it's showing the star count like this standard deviation, basically the average amount of stars, the high point, the low point. So the blue is the star count, the gray is the FWHM. So star count, so at this point you want to kind of check what the minimum amount of stars you're getting is, and you want to decide how many stars you're satisfied with in the collection. I definitely don't want to keep these subs that are only going to have a small amount of stars. We've got some low star counts here: 3, 7, 13 is not too bad. Some low star counts here: 5, 5. All these, this was probably a stretch where there were clouds or poor seeing, and I got a lot of low star counts here. You can see they kind of come in stretches. These were areas where I probably had great seeing and had lots of pretty high star count. So I'm going to decide how many stars I want the cutoff to be. I think I'm probably going to pick maybe 10 or so as the cutoff here. I can even go as high as 15. Really, it depends on how aggressive you want to be. Keep in mind, I know it feels hard to lose these subs, but this is low star count. Means you're not really getting much of the galaxy coming through because there were clouds or some kind of issues with the sub. So don't feel bad getting rid of these subs. It's going to give you a better result. So I think I'm going to pick a star count of, let's say, 15 or so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to this box here, and this is case sensitive. So whatever this measurement graph is, this is what you have to write. So it's case sensitive. I'm going to put star space, and I want greater than symbol space, and I'm going to pick 15. At the end of this, you do another space and you put two and symbols, because we're going to add to this, and hit enter. If that's all you care about are stars, you don't have to hit that and there. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this FWHM number. Now, I told you that the higher the number, the worse. So these gray areas where it's peaking, these are actually bad ones. Even though I have a high star count here, I also have a couple of these with high FWHM. So it means the atmosphere was making the sub result pretty poor. For drizzling, I was told X2 or X3 drizzle, you want to kind of keep under 8. So I am definitely going to be 3x drizzling this. And you can see, actually, I don't have a lot of subs that go over 6. So, or I mean, probably 7. This is probably 7 here. I don't have a lot of subs going over 7. So just based on this, you can pick a cutoff. Like 7.8 is not a bad cutoff. 8's a little bit high. But with this result, I think I can be aggressive on the cutoff, and I'm just going to do a cutoff of 7. So I'm going to put FWHM, and this is a less than 7.1, because I want to keep 7. And then I'm done with this. So these are all I'm going to look at. If you're interested, you can check out star eccentricity, the roundness of the stars. I'm not quite sure. I've not examined this much, but I'm sure there's a number. I think what I read was something like 0.42 or less is considered a round star. So I'm not sure. Yeah, these are all high, so I don't know if my stars are in bad shape or something, or they're not really round. But these numbers are not good. So I guess you can research more about this, but I'm not going to worry about this at this point, because I've had good results from these two categories, stars and FWHM. Now that we're done checking out the left part in the results, we have to get back to the subframe selector box here. We're not measuring subframes anymore. At this point, we are outputting the subframes. These are the ones we're going to say, I'm sorry, I skipped a step. We've got to make sure we activate this. We're going to hit the triangle to execute here. We're going to execute removing, this is removing, actually filtering out and keeping the subs that match this, not deleting the subs. We're filtering out the subs that match these conditions. So we're going to hit execute here. And you see we've got approved the number. Right now we're at 100%. This is the area that's going to change. after the functions results. Actually, this cut out way more subs than I did last time. This is a little aggressive. I'm cutting out almost 50% of the subs. So I think this is a little too aggressive. When I did this last time, I think I was at 83%, so I cut out about 17% of the subs. This might be due to star count. Let's change the star count to 10 and see what happens. I'm not sure if it's FWHM that cut out most of these. That put us at 75%. I'm not sure what happens if I change this to 7.5. I didn't see a lot of high ones there, but let's do this at 7.5 and see what happens. I actually am okay with losing 25%. The star count less than 10 is pretty brutal. Yeah, there were not many that were affected by FWHM. So I mean, if I were to rerun this, I might even rerun this at 75% and see if the results are better. You know, it obviously takes a while to stack all these and compare results, so you should just pick what you're comfortable with. But let's just say I'm comfortable with this 75% right now. So now we're back over here. We're outputting the subframes, and now we need to pick a directory. So I think with my directory, I just pick the same spot I'm keeping the subs. I keep my subs here, and I picked a folder called SFS. I made a folder called SFS, and I saved them all in here. You can't see them now, but they'll be saved here. So I'm not going to actually do this, but you would just pick this directory. That I can do. I'll pick this directory. Didn't see. Pick this as your directory. We'll be doing this a couple times during this video, the same type of step. I'm going to select this folder, make sure it pops up here, and then you're hitting the global button. The global button will save these approved subs. So you'll have 5,747 saved subs in that folder. Okay? So that's Subframe Selector. You can research some of these other things, and there's videos out there on what are the best choices to make. Just keep in mind, Seestar subs are not going to be as high quality as your normal Astro Rig subs, so we've got to make different sacrifices. So once we're done with that, now we'll get into this refined stacking routine. In the past, I used WBPP for the debayering and measuring step, and then did integration and Drizzle separately. I'm sorry, I used WBP for debayering and measuring and star aligning, and then I did integration and Drizzle separately. I'm going to do them all separately now. I'm not even going to touch WBPP. If you watch WBPP, you will see that the amount of memory available drops as it hits each process, meaning it's leaving you with less and less memory to execute the functions you're asking it to. In my opinion, it slows the system down. So if you run these separately, you're not stuck with that same situation where the memory is going down every single time. So the first step is going to be to debayer. So you go to all processes and you come to debayer. I usually pick VNG. You can pick bilinear, but I think VNG is the best choice here. And I'm going to add files. What files am I adding? I'm adding those subframe selected files in this folder we made. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to add all of these to the subframe selector. I mean the debayering. These are the ones we're going to be working with. These are our filtered subs. So I'm just adding these, and I'm picking my output directory. In this case, I saved these on my NVMe drive because I wanted to be as on the fastest drive. I don't only have 1 terabyte here, so I cannot keep my subs on there, but I can use this as my speed drive. So the next step is I already have an M51 folder made. We need to make a debayered. I already have it here, but you're just going to go to new folder And you can actually call this whatever you want. You can just call it D. The name's not important, just you need to know where you're putting it there. So I'm picking the Debayering, I'm selecting it as the output file, and I'm doing the global button. This is going to do that debayering process that WBPP first does. Okay, once that is completed, I'll have all these subs in a debayered folder. The next step is our star alignment. This is what results in the register files. In WBPP, this is called registering, I think. These are where you get your register files. So this is where we've got a little bit more things we have to pay attention to. The first thing I want to do is add the debayered. So this is my SFS folder. These were debayered. So I'm not going from here anymore. Now I'm going into that same folder I had. Processing, it was Pixinsight, and I have an M51 folder. These are my debayered ones. Now I'm going in here and I'm adding these debayered ones. These are the ones that I'm now focused on star aligning. Okay, they've been filtered through Subframe Selector. They've been debayered. Now they're going to be star aligned. Now, normally in WBPP, you have the reference frame selected to auto. WBPP chooses the reference frame. We want to have our own reference frame. So this is where you kind of have two options. The first option is you can use the output from the Seestar. Seestar saves those. They save a .fit, they save a large JPEG and a thumbnail JPEG. Or the large JPEG is the same dimensions as the fit. So if I go to my Astro subs and I go here and I see my M51 Seestar results, this is where they just keep the Seestar results and not the subs. You'll see I've saved a bunch of them here. I'm in the habit of saving them all. You can see these are when I was doing Alt-Z with the field rotation. And these are the newer subs that I was doing. This is a 45-second result. Just so you can see the 45-second subs, pretty nice. I still get a light band. I'm hoping this is fixed when I do the update, but there is a light band still here that I always need to use gradient correction on. But anyway, that's the 45. This was a short 60-second result, not that great, but still nice detail. So if I want, I can just pick this fit from the Seestar. I am going to use this one because it looks like the brightest one. I'm going to pick this one and drag it into my Pixinsight, open it here, and we can check out what it looks like. Stretched. So it looks like this stretched. We can use this. I can drag this right now and place it in this as the reference image here in this top box. But what is star aligning doing? Star aligning is checking the stars with your each frame to match up the stars and make a final output with the subs aligned. It just needs the stars. The galaxy doesn't need to be there. This light gradient is getting in the way. These stars are not the perfect shape. So there's an extra step you can take, and I think it's worthwhile because it's pretty quick. The first thing you should do is let's image solve this. Pixinsight needs to know the measurement of where it is in the sky. So it's image solved. Now we know what area of the sky we've been looking at. And then we're going to go back into astrometry. Is it astrometry or astrometry? I'm not sure. We're going to go into catalog star generator. This is going to bring up a new box. We've already active image geometry, user defined. We're going to have user defined, and we're going to copy this is already selected. Make sure this was selected. We're going to copy it. And I think I've done it with this one before, so it's already there. it just copied the same thing, but actually, let's double check. Yeah, I have it selected here. Again, script, astrometry. Let's just call it that for now. Catalog star generator. And I'm gonna copy, and yeah, I've already done it before. If I was to clear this, no, let's just leave it like this. So I've copied it over, and it's just taking, you can change this to focal distance if you want. It shouldn't matter too much. And maximum magnitude, the Seestar is said to have picked up something like 16 maximum magnitude, but it can probably even go higher than that. I just keep this at 18. It's not a problem. If you raise this number to 20 or so, you're going to have a huge thick star field, and I don't think it's necessary. So I just keep this generically at 18, and I hit OK. Now what this is going to do is it's just going to actually generate the field of stars. It's not going to worry about the deep space objects. It's just going to generate the stars. So if I stretch this, you can see the stars, and they match up exactly with the galaxy, exactly with my chosen reference frame. So these are my stars. Once I do that, this may be not that important, but you should go to image, color space, and convert it to RGB. It's going to turn red. You can just reset, restretch. Looks like this. This is what I'm going to use as my reference frame. So I've got my reference frame. I've got my now debayered files in here. First FSS, SFS, now they're debayered, now they're in here. And I'm going to use my output directory, and we're going to the same spot here. I've got my M51 folder. I'm going to make a register folder, and I'm going to select this as my output. Okay, there's one other part here under star matching. If you take a look, you can change this to mosaic mode or always, compute intersection always. It might save more subs in the registration process. I usually find for just normal FLV Seestar files, this is no issue here, so I just keep this the same. And then you're gonna hit the global button, run the global button, and now this is gonna do the star alignment procedure. It's gonna match all the subs to this reference frame and give you a final output. Now in this case, this is where I have to warn you, your final output is not going to be saved. Once this is completed, I'll show you what you're left with. Let me pull up my result here. Processing, Pixinsight. Here's my M51 folder. There's a lot of stuff in here. This is my integration from April 2nd. So this is probably going to be the one that we're looking at here. This is what you're going to be left with once it's done. Okay, this is going to pop up, and it's also going to have maybe a rejection box. I don't remember. I'm sorry. Should I edit this video? I'm going to cut this out. This is not what you're left with. You're not left with anything. All that's going to happen after star alignment is you are going to get this folder with your register files. I apologize, I'm not going to edit this video. It takes too much time. Anyway, you're going to end up with your registered files in this folder. So now I've got my registered files folder. Now I'm going to go to the next procedure. Next procedure is going to be the actual integration. So processes, all processes, image integration. So guess what I'm adding here? All my registered Seestar files. Okay, so I've got debayered, now I've got registered. These are the ones that we're going to be stacking, integrating. So I'm going to pick all these files, and I'm going to plug these in here. Now, very important step many people get jammed up on. This is very important. We didn't do a proper measurement of these other than subframe selector measuring. We didn't do any of this normal PSF scale. We don't have an SNR scale measured for these. We didn't do local normalization. We didn't spend a lot of time with those processes that bogged us down. So we cannot use this as an integration tool. We can only go by signal weight. So you need to keep this with additive with scaling and combine average, but make sure this is on signal weight. If I try to run this on PSF scale, it's going to say there's no local normalized files. It's not going to be able to do it. So I'm adding my image integration, my registered files, but I'm using PSF signal weight. The second thing I'm doing is I'm adding Drizzle files, which are in the same exact registered folder, just the Drizzle version. So I'm adding these, and they're going to pop up in there, and the generate Drizzle box is going to show up here once they're all added. Takes a little bit longer with this. There they are. And pixel rejection, some of you may do this in the past and you use this pixel rejection. You cannot pick the min max, any of these. The only one you can choose is Winsorized Sigma clipping. You cannot pick any of the other options because it won't work with those options. Okay. And I usually do large scale pixel rejection. Reject high large scale structures. Okay, those are usually the two I pick. And then I'm going to hit the global button and the integration process is going to start, the one that uses a lot of memory. Now, some of you might find that you have a ton of subs, and actually with the drizzle and the rejection, you're going to run out of memory. Actually, this happened to me with this. It ran out of memory. There is a separate thing you can do through Windows that can salvage this issue with memory, and I tried it and it didn't work for everything, and it didn't work with this. But there is a second choice here. If you de-click automatic buffer sizes, you can adjust this. If you make this number lower, it's going to lower the amount of rows you're working with, and it's going to make it less memory intensive. If you make this number higher, it will also help with the amount of stack size you have. So sometimes I will do 8 and 6,000, or I'll even do 4 and 10,000. You can adjust these numbers, but hopefully you won't have to do that, because this is really trial and error when it comes to this, and it's not always successful. In the past, I wasn't even able to drizzle because it took up too much memory. Like when we were doing the mosaic subs, I could not drizzle my mosaic subs. I still cannot drizzle my mosaic subs because this takes up too much memory for me. I just don't have a good enough system for it. So you can either take out your drizzle files, hopefully you won't have to, or you can not do pixel rejection to decrease the amount of intensive memory that's going on. But I suggest you obviously try it with the default like this. And I'm going to hit the global button, and this is going to integrate. Now, what I mentioned before, this is where you have to be careful. You're going to be left with an integration file, and you're going to be left with those rejection files, 2 rejection files. Those are not saved automatically in a master folder like they are with WBBP. So you really have to be prepared for that. Don't get tricked and delete it. It's not saved. You have to save it. So that's normally the first step I'll have. What you're left with, I showed you before, is this integration file. And the first thing I'm going to do is save this, because and first thing I would normally do is save this, because if you don't save it, it's going to get lost. It's not automatically saved. Anyway, this is my result of that subframe selector. You see I've got gradient here, not so much down the middle, but I've still got quite a gradient that I need to work with anyway. I'm not going to work with this. I want drizzle. Even though this is nice SNR, and I'm getting, for my Bortle, I'm getting quite a bit of tidal waves, but not all of them, because my Bortle really... one day I might try to process this integration just to see how much tidal waves I can get, but there's not going to be a lot of details with no drizzle. So now we're going to move to our next step. Everybody should be drizzling Seestar data as long as you're dithering. whether or not you're controlling the dither rates through Seestar-alp, or if you're using the default dither rates from the Seestar. If you're dithering, you should drizzle. For this amount of subs, this was 55 hours. It went from 77 hours to about 55 hours. I'm definitely going to do X3 drizzle. And I usually do drop shrink of 0.7 for X3. If I do X2, I do drop shrink of 0.8. And actually, I think I ended up doing, normally I will do Gaussian and 48 grid size. For this particular outcome though, I thought I lost too much SNR in the drizzle process, so I did 0.7, and I think I did 24 grid size, and I actually used VAR3. I wanted to try some of these more intensive varial drizzle patterns, so I used the VAR3, and I was pretty happy with the outcome. I haven't checked the rest. Now that you want to enable CFA, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. You should add these drizzle files. These will be in your registered, the same folder you were just in. You're going to add these drizzle files. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Put these in here, and then again, now we can talk about the scale. So I'll do scale 3.7 Gaussian 24, enable CFA. Keep fast drizzle. The fast drizzle is excellent now. It's not like fast integration. Still a really good result. Fast integration is not good, but fast drizzle is no problem. And you're gonna hit the, this is the part where you can save some time. You have a region of interest here. So if I go to my integration output and you hit Alt-N, Alt-N will allow you to bring up a preview box. And you know, I still want to kind of capture these two smaller galaxies. This one actually turned out nice in my result. And I'll just center this here, and I have a little bit of field rotation here from the drizzle pattern. You still get some field rotation in equatorial mode. And I think I would just pick this box here. So this is region of interest, and you can either drag it or get from preview here and hit OK, and this will actually even speed it up a bit more. You can treat this like you would a normal crop, and then you're going to hit the global button. Okay, after the global button, it's going to go through its drizzle procedure, and again, the file's not going to be saved. You're going to get a rejection box, and you're going to get this drizzle one. This is the last one I did. You're going to get your drizzled outcome. I should not have closed the, I'm going to actually bring up the original just so you can see. So technically, and you can see it's a smaller because it's been cropped. So now it's smaller. So this is the drizzle result. This is the non-drizzle result. You can see it's not as detailed. It's not as bright. It doesn't look as good, but this is when we're going to bring out through processing. It's going to end up being a nicer result than the non-drizzled version would be. It's going to be able to be stretched more, and we're really going to be able to bring out some of the good details. So anyway, that's the process. If you're interested in seeing the rest of the process of this M51, I'm going to make another video shortly that's going to go through my processing of this, and you can see what the end result is. I really hope you subscribe to my channel. I hope this was helpful. If I went too fast and there's something you missed, leave a comment. Let me know what you have questions or concerns about. But in my opinion, this should be the definitive guide for stacking Seestar data to get the best results in the least amount of time. So, thanks for checking out Frogs in Orbit. I hope you get clear skies. It's raining today, unfortunately for me, so I'll be doing processing work and not much imaging. So I hope you're luckier than I am, and I hope this video helped you. Good luck. Get out there and shoot the skies and give me some good results. Share your results with me. Thanks, guys.